Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be reviewing Alchemia from Royal Crown. This is a beautiful rose fragrance and it's one of my favorites that I've tried from the line, and I'm excited to review it for you guys. I'm also at the end of the video going to be doing a little comparison between Rose Mascot, because these are two very rose dominant scents in the collection, and if you're wondering which one to get, I figured maybe doing a little bit of a comparison at the end of the video would be fun. So if you'd like to know what I think about this fragrance, then keep watching. Now, for transparency purposes, I purchased this. In fact, the only fragrance from Royal Crown that was ever sent to me to review was Rose Mascot. I fell so in love with this fragrance, I purchased every other scent. I am dedicated to owning every fragrance that I possibly can from this house. I am just viciously in love with them. But they are a luxury fragrance house. They are luxury priced and quite pricey. At that, you're looking at spending about $405 for this bottle here. But there is a lot of beauty that comes with this fragrance, but there's also a hefty price tag. So this review, I'm going to be reviewing it based on the price tag, based on other fragrances around the price point. So think fragrances from Xerjoff, Amouage, Raja, Clive Christian. So when I talk about if this fragrance is worth it, I'm basically judging it based against other luxury fragrances. You'll obviously decide if you want to spend this much money on a perfume, whether or not I think it's pretty. But whenever I review fragrances, I like to review them against the same kind of category. This is very high-priced luxury niche scents. Now, this fragrance is a rose dominant scent, and I'm very happy that it's the Taifi rose. I love that beautiful Middle Eastern rose. There's also Bulgarian rose in here. There's oud, myrrh, gray amber, carnation, as well, lily of the valley, and honey. Now, this fragrance is one of the only scents that I've ever worn that elicited a positive response from John. And actually, I had sprayed this and he walked into the room and he's like, what is that? And I was like, do you like it? And he's like, actually, yeah. Like, he actually really enjoyed this fragrance. So for people who have loved ones that hate perfume, this one actually did pretty good for the person in the house that does not like fragrance at all. Now, this rose is big and bold, but this is not a heavy headache-inducing rose fragrance, which is what I like about it. This is a very strong woody fragrance, and I like that the carnation in this makes it a teeny bit spicy, just a little bit. The oud in this fragrance is pronounced, but it's not an animalic barnyard oud. It's just a really beautiful, deep, woody presence that works with the other notes in this fragrance, such as the gray amber and the myrrh. The myrrh I find to be really interesting because it gives this fragrance a slight little balsamic just kick. Like, it's a resinous, it's aromatic, it's just something in there. It's just that little balsamic kick that I actually love smelling on my skin. I think it's really, really nice. The flowers in this, aside from the roses, are very pretty too. The lily is just really gorgeous and very pronounced, and it doesn't take away from the distinctive elements of the Taifi rose and the Bulgarian rose. This rose is big and beautiful, and it's sweet from the honey, and it's slightly balsamic from the resins, and it's woody from the woods. There's just a lot of different beautiful things going on in this fragrance that make it smell exceptional. And when you're looking at spending a lot of money on a fragrance, you want to smell exceptional. You want to smell like you obviously spent that much money on a fragrance. And it's really fantastic when you get inexpensive fragrances that can pull that off. And trust me, there are inexpensive fragrances that smell like they could be priced way more. If somebody said, oh yeah, this bottle costs $200 to $300, you could be like, oh yeah, I can see it. But you never want an expensive fragrance to smell cheap. You don't. Why waste the money? And what I like about this particular fragrance is it doesn't. It smells quality. And I'm not talking about the ingredients. I'm talking about the quality of the composition. It's really easy for rose fragrances to be overpowering, for distinctive rose elements such as the Taifi rose and the Bulgarian rose, for those beautiful little nuances to get lost. It's easy for ouds to be overpowering. It's fantastic when resins and honey come into the mix, but they can really throw off a composition. But when you smell something where the notes themselves smell really, really good and the composition is done so meticulously well, you get really excited. And that's why I think this fragrance smells so luxurious and so quality. It doesn't so much have to do with the quality of the ingredients, but the quality of the composition. It all comes together to create a really beautiful experience. A fantastically opulent rose fragrance that's not pulling too headache inducing, that's not pulling too heavy, that's not pulling too jammy, but has the right amount of balance to create this beautiful, fantastic woody base with this like resinous balsamic elements, the right note to add a little bit of spiciness, and these two distinctive roses with these other fantastic notes such as like honey and white florals that just work together to create this beautiful banquet of just a really gorgeous rose experience. I also like the fact that because of the woods and the slight balsamic element in this, this is a very unisex leaning rose. And obviously fragrance is genderless and you can wear whatever you want. But a lot of people attribute very strong rose fragrances to being very mature, feminine leaning scents. And some people just don't like to smell like that, and that's fine. But if you are looking to smell a little bit more rosy in your life and you prefer more unisex leaning fragrances, this is going to be an excellent one too. Again, the little bit of spiciness and the woods really kind of tame that overtly fruity rose that can happen, especially when honey and white florals are in the mix. So this is a gorgeous fragrance that just smells really excellent on the skin, and it's something I've really enjoyed wearing. Now, when you're spending this much money on a bottle of perfume, you also, and for most people, demand performance. I usually don't care about performance. That's me personally. That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with demanding excellent performance for exceptionally expensive fragrances. And I'm happy to say that depending on what you expect from a very woody rose fragrance, I usually expect pretty good longevity. This has excellent longevity. I get about 8 to 10 hours on my skin, and if you guys know me, I live in the tropics. I live in Florida, so 8 to 10 hours for me is ridiculously long period of time, so it has, at least on my skin, excellent longevity. I will also say in regards to performance, this is a beastly fragrance, at least the first few hours of wearing this. Whenever I judge projection, I've been judging it based on social distancing. So if you were out and about and there were people around you social distancing, would they be able to smell this fragrance? Yes, yes they would. This also has a fantastic lingering trail. This will follow you around for the first few hours of you wearing it and has a slight more intimate sillage the last few hours that you wear this. But if you're looking for a fragrance that has great projection, great longevity, and does leave that sexy little trail, Alchemia is a fantastic fragrance and does, I think, meet all the criteria that I would think would have to be checked in order for an expensive fragrance to be worth the price. It smells like the ingredients are top quality. The composition is done in a way where it smells like an expensive fragrance. And it's also blended and balanced in a way that is done with meticulous care and in a way that really makes all these quality ingredients shine. I also think that the longevity, projection, sillage is excellent, and the presentation of these fragrances is great. So if you're of the mindset where you are looking to spend a lot of money on a fragrance and you are trying to find a beautiful rose scent to wear, definitely check out Alchemia. It is a gorgeous scent. But if you are in the mindset of, I'm going to buy one expensive rose fragrance from this house, which one will it be? Well, let's do a quick comparison. I was originally going to do a video of these separately, but I really don't think many people care. But if you are watching this video and you care about Alchemia, I'm going to give you a little quick comparison. I'm not going to tell you which one of these fragrances is better. In my opinion, they are the same in regards to worth the price, but I think that they are two completely different fragrances. So this one is more of an animalic, effervescent, ozonic, citrusy rose fragrance. This is more of a deep, woody, very sexy, sultry rose fragrance. I would say the rose is more pronounced in Alchemia than it is in Rose Mascot, even though this is a very pronounced rose fragrance. But when people think about rose, usually the first thing that comes into their mind is, what does a bouquet of roses smell like? Or what does a big, bold, sexy, velvety rose fragrance smell like? And I would say if that's the type of fragrance that you are looking for, Alchemia is going to be your son. But do not get me wrong, the rose in here is light and beautiful, and again, I love that animalic spin that it has. It is woody, very aromatic, and very beautiful. And if you would like to see my review on Rose Mascot, I will link that below, and also any other reviews I have on this house. At the end of the day, Royal Crown is an excessively expensive fragrance house, but I have been severely, and I mean astronomically, impressed by the quality of their compositions and just generally how they smell. I'm just in love. So if you are looking to dip your toes into the luxury perfume market, I would definitely check out Royal Crown. And specifically, if you're looking for a sexy rose fragrance that's particularly good for fall and winter, I would say give Alchemia a shot. It is fantastic. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've had the opportunity to try this fragrance, let me know what you think, positive or negative, in the comments section below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.